My name is Emmanuel, and I'm co-founder at Treat Therapeutics, where we're aiming to know our dogs inside and out. My co-founder, Catherine, and myself are both loving parents, pet parents, that is, like many of you here. And although we acknowledge that we're experts for our own dogs, we know that there is still so much about their health and their well-being that we don't fully understand. That's why at Treat, we're applying a scientific approach to allow pet parents to understand their dog's health and take actions to improve it. At Treat, we're passionate that good health begins in the gut. And that's why we've partnered with our friends at Ipromea to support acceleration of research into this area. Our dogs might seem to have good health, but many pet parents know that we only know when something is wrong with our dogs when something is really wrong. Poor gut health can have long-term impacts, not only on our dog's day-to-day health, but on their entire lifespan, how long they live, what sort of chronic conditions they develop, even whether or not they develop allergies early on in life. We now know that the gut is linked intrinsically to conditions we thought had no correlation with what's going on in our guts, from mood to skin. Life is tough on their guts. And over time, we see a gradual deterioration in gut health. We have a piling of medicines, antibiotics, processed food, stress, environmental effects, which all contribute to a deteriorating gut health. This has now been linked to a number of serious conditions in humans, such as arthritis, dementia, cancer, and obesity. And the big question here is, does this exist for our dogs? And can we do something about it? Zooming out, you may or may not be shocked to know these two stats. 50% of dogs over the age of 10 develop cancer. Likewise, 56% of dogs in the United States are obese. Now, if you don't know the parallel stats for humans for these two, you may not find this too impressive. So let me just share with you this information. In humans, above the age of 60, which is equivalent to about 10 years of dog's age, you only have a 1 to 2% chance of developing cancer, compared to the 50% in dogs. Likewise, in the United States, only 42% of American adults are obese. The fact that both of these numbers are highly elevated in our pets is a cause for concern and also further validation of the fact that we need to approach their health in a different way. Here at Treat Therapeutics, we're working with man's best friend to solve the biggest challenges in healthcare. We're here to revolutionize pet health. Our close relationship with our pets means that we're perfectly positioned to help them. Already there are ways that we can work to restore and maintain our dog's health through their guts and prevent these types of serious conditions. Probiotics are one easy and accessible way to do so. So these are our two dogs. Molly is Catherine's dog and Charlie is my own dog. And both of us were seriously dismayed by the approach that currently existed in the veterinary space for their two conditions. Coming from the human side of healthcare, we were both totally devastated by the poor state of healthcare for our dogs. We couldn't believe how limited the options were and how irrelevant the science was in many cases. Looking into the literature, I saw that some of the therapies that I was looking to treat my Charlie with when she developed chronic dermatitis had only been tested on 10 irrelevant beagles in some farm somewhere in Europe. How could that study accurately represent the condition that my dog, Charlie, living in Singapore as a mixed breed, was going through? Tree was founded by Catherine and I in 2021, a pair of crazy dog lovers ruled by their dogs. We were unified by our passion for science and research and our strong belief that we can raise the standard of care for our pets. So this is our team. Myself and Catherine both come from a human health background. I got my master's in biomedical engineering from UCL. Catherine completed her degree in neuroscience from Oxford. And we are also backed by plenty of strategic advisors, both in the research space, from the Weizmann Institute, but also from the commercial space, Amelie, which is actually Southeast Asia's first microbiome company, as well as in the veterinary space with Dr. Kenneth Tong. Having this holistic team allows us not only to drive research in the space, but also ensure that we're developing a solution that's commercially viable for our partners and for our success in the long run.
So we're partnering with the best in the industry to really look to revolutionize pet health, and we're thrilled to be doing this collaboration with Ipromea, who are also supporting our mission to accelerate research in the pet health space and really raise the standard of care for our dogs. With Ipromea, the question that we've been looking to answer is how do probiotics really work, and how can we ensure that these are the best for each and every one of our dogs? So what did we do? So we looked at 60 dogs, we did a 1.5-month study, and these were across a few select breeds just for our first pilot. Participants were signing up through social media to take part, and they received a free health kit in the mail, including 1 month's supply of Ipromea's Meals Topper and some sample collection tubes. So the product that we're looking at is the Pet Parade Meal Topper. Pet Parade is a formulation of pre, pro, and postbiotic goodness, and looking to improve the gut health of our four-pawed friends. So a bit more on the study. So we're really going for human-grade research. So the study was placebo-controlled, double-blinded, and randomized. We also include an additional baseline control period to look for any natural variation within the dogs themselves. So here we're going to drill down a bit more into the actual study design. So the cohort was 60 dogs. The key inclusion criteria were the select 7 breeds mentioned on the previous slide, and also only on 2 diets, so either on a fresh-fed diet or on a kibble diet. We were looking at dogs between 2 and 8 years of age, and we were looking at dogs that were starting off in overall good health. When we ran the statistical analysis, as well as looking at the intervention versus the control, we were also drilling down into the differences between the different breeds and the different diets. So when we look at the actual study structure, so we have this 15-day observation period, and then we have a 30-day intervention period. During this part, we're doing every 15 days a survey and a sample. In terms of what those equate to, so the survey, we have some self-reported outcomes. So we have quantitative measures such as weight loss, body condition score, coat score, and then we also looked at a few more subjective qualitative measures such as behavior, mood, appetite, and also looking at the fecal consistency and color. The microbiome analysis was the fecal samples. So we were taking these fecal samples also every 15 days. They were collected in the Zymo Research collection tubes, and then they were run through the Illumina sequencing technology on the V3, V4 region. In terms of the actual metrics that we were looking at, so we're looking at a few measures of overall microbiome health. So that includes alpha diversity score, evenness and richness. And then we were also drilling down into a few specific functional pathways and running principal component analysis on breeds and diets, and also looking at other factors such as activity to see the impact on this. Okay, so the interesting bit. So what were the results? So we're still doing the analysis at the population level, but we have found a number of very interesting case studies. What we have found at the population level is that there really is no one-size-fits-all approach. Different dogs seem to have benefited from the intervention in different ways, and we're still unpacking that a bit more. And to us, it's just a really stark reminder that there really is no one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition. And we hope that through better understanding our dogs from the inside, we can start to really unpack that. So here's our first case study. So Kona is a Labradoodle in Singapore. Kona's family came to us to join the study because they were really struggling to motivate him to eat consistently. And so they found during the meal topper that they saw significant improvements not only in his stools but also in his appetite, which made obviously a huge difference to their lives. What was quite interesting is that when we dug into what was going on the inside, we actually saw a huge improvement in Kona's richness score. So although his microbiome health was already in fairly good shape, there was this lack of richness, which was then improved following the meal topper. So here's another case study. So Hero is a golden retriever. With Hero, we saw a slightly lower overall microbiome health in the first place. And with the meal topper, we saw this massive improvement in the overall microbiome health. So this is where we're looking at what we call the alpha diversity score. It went up from 3.06 to 3.69. And again, we also saw this improvement in richness score, similar to the levels that we were seeing in Kona. So here you can see some of the pack. As you can see, the real diversity in the dogs, and this doesn't also capture our golden doodles, our labradoodles, our labradors, and our toy poodles that were involved. We're really excited to be collaborating on another research project with Ipromea starting in August, where we're expanding out not only the number of products that we're looking at, but also the number of different breeds. Thank you, Ipromea, for your support.